Dave loves movies. Dave really loves movies. He loves watching them. He loves talking about them. So he started a podcast. And you can listen to it right here on the You Run Podcast Network. Check out Reaction Shot, hosted by Dave Herman. The motherfucker does deep dives. He has guests. He does POV episodes. He does reactions. That's why you should be listening. Motherfucker even interviewed Art the Clown. Another Dave. So check it out right here on the You Run Podcast Network, The Reaction Shot. Peep it, bitches. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gonna Eat That Crust podcast. I am your host with the least. They call me Sweatpants Overlord, follically challenged. I have the greatest beard in the East Coast, maybe America. It's your boy, Greg. And joining me tonight, you've heard him before on Pop Culture Reflections. He's my co-host, A Slice of Pop Culture. He does Why We Love with Kate. And we've had him on Pizza Bones, and he's been on the show many times. It's Justin from Pop Culture Reflections. Justin, how's it going?
Oh, good. If I were any better, I'd be injecting myself with glow stick ooze and talking directly to Barbara Crampton's crotch. Thanks for having me.
We can all dream, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also with us tonight, co-host of Why We Love, my co-host on Pizza Bones. We got Kate from Down Under. How's it going, Kate?
Hey, I am very well, and I can't think of anything as clever as that to say, so I'm just going to say hi.
That works as well.
Yeah.
And back for the second time. I joined him on the Bring Her Back episode. He was on our show for Aliens. This guy's got Hudson energy. No, he's got Drake energy. I'm talking about BP from Let's Talk Horror Channel.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me back. I'm not even going to bother. Justin always does the greatest intros. Well, you guys always do the greatest intros. Mine are inferior, so I'm just going to do what Kate says. Hello.
Yeah, you can be on my team tonight.
Ryan's the intro man, and I am not. I just try to, do my best with him. And, of course, Justin, yes, kills the intro. Mm-hmm. But we're not here to talk about intros tonight, though we could be. We could do a whole show on intros if you guys want. Do you want to pivot?
Or more like entrails.
Yeah. Tonight, this is not an episode of Greg Hasn't Seen It, even though this is Greg's first watch, even though he did watch it again. He watched it twice because that's what he does when he watches new movies. And by new movie, I mean ReAnimator from 1985, directed by Stuart Gordon. Writer is H.P. Lovecraft. After an odd new medical student arrives on campus, a dedicated local and his girlfriend become involved in bizarre experiments centering around the reanimation of dead tissue. And of course, we're talking about the 1985 horror comedy ReAnimator. And before we get into it, let's talk about first-time watches. Justin, you remember your first time watching ReAnimator?
Yeah, so I can remember, I've already talked about how Carrie's my earliest horror memory. I even sent that in the BP show a long time ago because that's the one that I remember being 5, 6 years old or whatever and scaring the ever-living shit out of me, yet, fascinating me and wanting to get more into horror. And I remember almost like it was yesterday when I was probably around the age of 7 or so. There was only one TV in our house at that time, right? So I'm pretty sure I fell asleep watching TV, and then instead of my mom taking me to my room, she would watch something, right? Whatever it is that she wanted to watch then. And I remember like it was yesterday waking up to her watching this movie, having no idea what the fuck it was. But like, I'm seeing this thing and I'm trying to pretend like I'm still sleeping while still watching the movie. And it freaked me out. I mean, when you're seeing a headless dude, basically, a decapitated head, talking to people, being carried around by this body, doing all this crazy shit, like you have no idea what's happening. And it was that at that moment I knew, okay, movies can be all kinds of different things. I cannot wait to see more horror now. So yeah, and I remember I always had the memory of this movie in my head growing up, and I wasn't sure what the movie was. And then when I was old enough to rent movies myself at the video store, I came to ReAnimator, and when I played it, I'm like, oh my God, that's that movie when I was a kid that my mom was watching that freaked me out. And I've loved it ever since.
That's awesome. Kate, what about you?
Yeah, I am kind of similar actually, because I knew I'd seen it and I remembered really specific, unsurprisingly, parts from it. But I couldn't remember, I had no recollection of when I saw it or who I saw it with. So I would have been 7 when it came out, and I definitely didn't watch it then. But I do remember it being on at like parties, and it's a good background movie. So I know it's been around, but I'm sitting and watching the whole thing through, I don't think I've done for a really long time. So today was like the first sit and really pay attention and take in all the goodness of the movie. And I was going to have pasta for dinner. I changed my mind. I had peanut butter on toast for dinner and some fruit, because I was like, no, nothing pasta now. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a jumble, but it did all come, you had a Celine Dion moment. It was all coming back to me.
BP, what about you?
Well, I mean, I've spoken many a times on my show of how the UK has always been shite for horror because, of course, where we are boring fucks, that all this country has tried doing is like pushing horror aside, banning it, everything it can do to try and push horror aside. So this is one that I'm gutted that I didn't get to see earlier than what I did. I wasn't too odd, like I was still in my teens, but a lot of like my, like I always say, like my heyday of horror, a lot of the time came when DVDs sort of happened because, of course, like I've been watching horror on VHS for most of my life. But when DVDs happened, because we could get like region-free players and so on, we could then get movies imported. So I was then, when I was in my teens, I was getting like loads of things. I basically got my friend's mum to import me DVDs from America so then I could watch them. So then literally every week it was like I was getting like 4 or 5 DVDs to watch constantly, because it means now all those movies that I never got a chance to watch that I knew about when I was a kid, that weren't like, regularly available, because obviously ReAnimator was one of those movies that they absolutely were trying to ban or did or whatever. And you can kind of see why if it's for the UK audience, so to speak, because we're not allowed to see anything risque at all. Then yeah. So when it came to it, I watched it on DVD. So I think the first time I watched it, I was probably about 14, 15. And then, of course, instantly, it was a movie that I just instantly fell in love with. But it was one of those moments where I was gutted, because this is such a fucking like punk rock movie. This is so much like, we'll get into it, but I don't think there's many movies out there that are as unapologetically exactly what this movie is. And we'll get into all that, I'm sure. But it annoys me because I've always been, like that sort of like punk rock rebellious piece of shit kid. So, and of course, horror and punk rock and being a twat goes hand in hand, so to speak. So this was one of those movies that I was so gutted. Literally, yeah. As it, but yeah, so I was so gutted when I saw this for the first time as a teen that I didn't see this younger, like so many movies. But it's one of those movies, and it came out the year I was born as well. So of all good things.
Nice. Well, you could be me and just seen it this year, a couple of weeks ago.
Better late than never.
Yeah. On this show, You Can Eat That Crust, we have a sub-series called Greg Hasn't Seen It, which Justin co-hosts as well. And we've kind of been taking a journey. Justin and John from Dewey Pod have been like giving me all sorts of movies that I need to see. These critical movies, these horror movies, horror comedies, whatever they are. And I kind of took it upon myself. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to necessarily wait to watch all these movies so they get introduced into the show. I wanted to see ReAnimator. I wanted to see Nightmare on Elm Street, even though I had seen other Nightmare on Elm Streets. So I've been kind of going on a little journey, now that I have Tubi. Or if I see the movie free on Amazon. For example, I just started watching Escape from New York. I had never seen Snake Plissken. So started watching
Your journey
that.
is fucking wild. Like, it's mental. I can't believe that you have existed in life. And every time that you say, like, these movies, I'm like, this is insane. Yeah. But it's fucking, I'm fucking jealous. Like, you know, because obviously you get to experience these movies for, like, the first time now. Like, with maturity, or somewhat maturity, but like there's so many movies that I hated, when I was a kid, and now I've got older, I'm like, I fucking get it. And, now you're there, you're like, I get it. And I get to watch them all over. So yeah, I'm so jealous of you.
And I rented so many movies when I was younger. I worked at a Blockbuster early on. Like apparently I was just watching Hook and Forrest Gump on repeat, and Cat People, of course, the famous Cat People. But we're not here to talk about Cat People or Forrest Gump. Sorry, Justin.
Or Rufio.
Thank goodness.
Or Rufio, Bangarang Rufio. We're talking about ReAnimator, and we like to play the little acronym game. And, very influenced by this show called Pop Culture Reflections. Helps me grab all sorts of categories. Not stealing, borrowing, because we're heavily influenced by this guy, Justin Skoviak. He's kind of the man around here. Yeah. So we're going to start with R, and it's recast with another actor or drop in a fictional character. And speaking of pop culture reflections, why don't we have Justin go first?
All right, so I know BP's going to love this pick. So I went with, let me first say, David Gale is great as Dr. Hill. I mean, great. Lights out. He's awesome. Yep. But for my recast, how about Dick Miller as Dr. Hill? Like, Dick Miller enhances every movie he's in anyhow. And I want Dick Miller, if for no other reason, just for the giving head scene alone would be incredible. So give me Dick Miller as Dr. Hill. I would love it. I know BP would love it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, he doesn't love a bit of dick, right? I mean, Dick Miller, Dick Miller's a true icon. So it's one of those things. I mean, although the problem is that it's like when you put him in a movie, it's like in a movie like ReAnimator, do you want him to play that sort of character? Or is it Dick Miller playing the janitor or the security guard that he would always do in the background? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, that's kind of his thing.
Yeah, like pops up in Chopping Ball and you're like, it's Dick Miller, he's fucking great. And all he's doing is being the janitor. So yeah, I mean, one of the iconic character actors and of all time.
All right, great pick. Yeah. Kate, what you got?
I went with a character, not an actor, but I went with our little mate Uda Zorka from The Simpsons, a little German exchange student. I might have been a little bit, I think I was a bit tired. So I had this vision of him and Augustus Gloop, both patients in the German hospital at the start, and they're sharing a room because they've both had their appendix out. And they get to witness the chaos in the opening scene. Yeah.
Well, how is he going to run? He's so full of chocolate.
I know. Well, that's exactly right. And he's got a sore tummy as well from his appendix. So, him and Augustus are just going to hang out and share their Game Boy and, have some fun while it's all kind of falling apart around them.
Nice. That's
Love
awesome. So I went with two.
Cheat.
Excuse this horrible, horrible joke. So I went with Anton Yelchin. And I said that he would need the injection for this to happen.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Ouch. But so Anton Yelchin as Herbert West, I think he would be excellent as Herbert West. I'm trying to think of his name.
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs. Yeah, like obviously he was fucking great. And when I first saw this movie, I had never seen him in too many movies, but I saw him in Frighteners. And I was like, who the fuck is this dude in Frighteners? This guy is such a weirdo.
He's brilliant in Frighteners.
He is.
So
he's
good.
excellent.
So good.
So, and then you guys might not recognize this guy. I went with Christopher Haydal. He's for Dr. Carl Hill. Again, I thought the guy who played Dr. Carl Hill was excellent. But this is the guy. If you've ever seen Peacemaker or the show Hell on Wheels,
No.
this guy.
Peacemaker.
So he's one of the cops who gets turned eventually by the mosquitoes. He's like the tall, like skinny cop guy who's working for him. But he almost looks like Dr. Hill, and he plays a great villain. I think he would be excellent in this role. So when you get a chance, look up Christopher Haydahl or Hayderall. I don't know how to fucking pronounce his name.
Maybe it's Hadderall. It might rhyme with Adderall.
Yeah, it's Heyerdhal. So yeah,
No,
that could
probably
be
not
it.
then, but yeah.
But he was at the show Hell on Wheels. He was a fucking amazing villain, and he's great in Peacemaker as well too. He just kind of looks like the Dr. Hill guy, I think. So,
Cool.
BP, what you got?
Well, this is a type of movie that is almost one of those movies I feel like offended with myself for trying to recast, because you just can't, right?
Yeah.
Because it's, Jeffrey Combs or Coombs, however, we all know I can't say names. I thought Toby Hooper was Tobe Hooper for most of my life. But Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, one of the greatest and most beautiful women that's ever existed on this earth, and still to this day. It's difficult to recast, but then I was just like, well, there's one person that I always want to be in every single movie and that's ever made, and that's Bruce Campbell. So I would love to see Bruce Campbell in this, whether you put that in, in Combs's role, whether you put that, also those two together would just be just dynamite. Jeffrey Combs, Bruce Campbell together. I think there is the odd similarities, but also I think Jeffrey Combs goes the crazy route a lot more often than Bruce Campbell does. But maybe you put, what's the other guy? Is it Dan? Is his name Dan in it?
Yeah.
I think his name
His
is
roommate.
Yeah, that's
Dan
it.
Kane.
Yeah.
That's it. Put Bruce Campbell in that role.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
And then put Jeffrey Combs, in that role. You've got an absolute, because obviously, the guy that plays Dan and stuff, he's all right, but it's just that sort of character. Maybe someone like Bruce Campbell elevates it even more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's but I put Bruce Campbell in fucking everything.
I love it. I would love just a fucking movie of Jeffrey Combs and Bruce Campbell grocery shopping. I'm down.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be wild.
Nice.
It's just Bruce Campbell going around picking up watermelons, going groovy.
Nice. Those are all
That
great
part,
picks.
of course.
Yeah, obviously. All right, so we're going with E, which is endorse. Pitch to us why you should or not see this movie. And I'll go first. I'm going to endorse it, why you should see it. I think it's fun. It's wild, good practical effects, wacky story, great visuals. And I loved the end. I love how when he injected her in the end, and you see the screen fade to black, and it's all you see is the fucking yellow goo, or I'm sorry, the green goo. I thought that was awesome. I was like, whoa, that was fucking badass. So yeah, it was a very fun, wacky, wild movie. I didn't really know what to think when I was watching it the first time, and the second time, even more so. Kate, what do you think?
I'm sorry, I was giggling about the way you pronounce the word first. It rhymed with endorse. I'm so sorry.
Well,
I was thinking, please.
I'm a rapper, so
I was like, please don't pick me next. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. All right. I put that it's corny and gross. It's fun performances, not good performances, but fun ones. Dan Kane and Barbara Crampton are both super sexy. It has great effects, really, really good practical effects. And it's just fun. Yeah, you wouldn't watch it for Academy Award winning anything, although maybe effects. But yeah, it's just it's a good probably introduction if someone's into wanting to get into a gory horror movie. It would probably shock the hell out of a lot of people, but it's pretty, it's pretty good for that. And it's good to have on in the background if you just want something, if you're having a Halloween party, for example, you could have it on in the background.
is that head doing what I think it's doing? Justin.
Yeah, it's Frankenstein on crack. Listen, it's ridiculous, campy fun that shouldn't work in film but totally does. Like we've all said, great effects, wacky performances, a head giving a girl head, amazing visuals, the icon that's Jeffrey Combs. What more can I say? You need to see this movie for all those reasons and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of had a little bit of Frankenhooker vibes in a way, but
Yep.
Frankenhooker wasn't as grimy, I guess. Frankenhooker was a little bit more silly, if that even.
I was going to say, I would say
possible.
Frankenhooker's probably more grimy, but that's okay.
Okay. I mean, I've only seen Frankenhooker once, so I don't remember being as gory as this
Oh, yeah,
one.
probably not as gory, no.
Yeah.
A little bit of a Rocky Horror vibe too, with the young
Yeah.
couple that are a bit like wholesome, and then all the shit that's going on around them. Yeah.
That guy would have been a great recast as well, too. The guy from Frankenhooker. He was fucking hilarious. I can't think of who's the actor.
Lorenz, I think. James Lorenz.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the lead, he was fucking great. BP, what about you?
I think that this movie is about the best and biggest example or depiction of being a product of the time in regards to like exactly what horror should and shouldn't have been at the time and still to this day. And I mean that in like the nicest way, because this is a movie that does really what horror should sort of really be doing, which is treading the water between what's right and what's wrong. There are some things in this movie that are absolutely things that I do categorically think are wrong and shouldn't have been put to film, but also at the same time, because it's a product of its time in the 80s where everything was cocaine dreams and anything went. That it literally didn't fucking matter what you did, whether it was right or wrong, morally or probably legality wise, I don't know. But it's so this movie is like a prime example of that. It is, you know, smack bang in the 80s. And I think that that's one of the reasons to see it, because of course this is a movie that you're never going to get again, you know. So it's a great watch for people who haven't seen this movie, because it is you know, it is a part of the history of horror, because like I said, like we don't get movies like this anymore. So why not like sort of take yourself back to go, oh, okay, like this is the type of movie that happened in the 80s, for whether it was right or wrong, but at least we sort of like know where we were with it. And I just think that I also think it's a great example of a horror comedy, because horror comedies are one of the most difficult subgenres to get right in horror. Yeah. And I think that this does it so well, because even in those moments where it is comedy, you're still, once again, it's risque. Like, I mean, when we get to like, you know, memorable moments, there is a moment that is my favorite moment that I almost piss myself laughing every single time I watch it, but yet it's so fucking wrong. And you can see why people would hate that, you know, when we get to it. So there's so much to love about this movie, so much that people would probably hate. And it's also a movie that would absolutely turn people away from horror. I suppose it is a movie that really like encapsulates you as a person who is somebody that might like horror. It's a horror movie for horror fans. That's the way that this movie is as well, especially if you're old like me.
I think you're the youngest one here.
I was just going to say, watch it, because I'm the oldest one here. So.
You totally are.
Yes! It's the first time.
Yeah, I would say that head scene, giving head or attempting to give head, is probably a little problematic nowadays. Even though it was very funny, because it was very close to being very rapey, you know, obviously. Yeah. So,
I mean, I will say, I categorically, I do not like that scene. Like, I know there will people that will like it, but I'm just somebody that like, there are certain things that I think that, you know, belong in horror in regards to what can be seen as like I said, risque, or things that can be seen like, you know, right or wrong, treading that line. And I think that horror does a very good job at either going like on that line or way over. And unfortunately this movie once again is unapologetically what it is, you know. And I think that that's a moment for me where it just goes, and I can't help but think for Barbara Crampton, you know, like my brain automatically goes, that must have fucking been weird.
She's got strange fetishes. All right, so we're gonna go to A, which is the cover art, and basically rate the cover of this movie. I'll go first. I always kind of remember this cover in Blockbuster, and yes, I didn't see it, but I'll never forget this cover in Blockbuster. Like, I always walked by this movie, and I was thinking to myself, like, this movie is going to be wild. That some of these horror like covers like turned me off. I was always kind of into horror, but I never really dove headfirst into it. more mainstream horror stuff. Yeah.
Choose your words.
Hey-o. I had to remove my head and then go in. But, when I was older. So, but yeah, I'll always remember this cover. And like looking up this movie, there's some really crazy, wacky art. Like that's awesome. Like some of these covers are awesome. And they have a lot of cool like art, little different offshoots of this cover. So I went with a 7 out of 8 for this cover. And it's 1 out of 8 famous crustometer. We'll let BP go next.
I mean, the great thing about this is that it's all about the iconography, isn't it? And you're exactly like when you were saying, like, even if though this wasn't a movie that you saw, it's a poster that or an image of what you saw. Yep. So, I mean, I give this 8 out of 8, not just because the thing with a movie like this is that there's so many different versions that there are available of this movie, whether it's VHS, DVD, of course, like now it's on 4K and everything like that. So there's so many different types of posters and artwork and so on. But I think, there's so many that are just absolutely amazing. And of course, once you get like a green fucking goo on a cover, automatically you're like, oh, okay, well, I want to see it because it's got fucking predator blood. But the thing other reason why I give this 8 is that because this movie is such a creative movie, it gives the opportunity for artists that create posters to be creative because it's like the biggest form of creativity. So it means that we got really creative posters, whether it's like, the movie poster and so on like that. So yeah, this gets an 8 because you've got the iconography, but also you've got the fact that it sort of breeds creativity for artists as well.
Kate, what about you?
Yeah, I was having a scroll through and there's so many like posters and different ones. So I have to give it 4 marks. I have to give it an 8. I like the one where it looks like it's actually Dr. Herbert. Is it no, yeah, Herbert. Is it, what's his name? West?
Herbert West, yeah.
Yeah. And he's holding the needle and he's looking at he's looking at something, I don't know. I like the one that's more comic-y, but yeah, I like all of them. I think, and the greens kind of I wonder if the substance was like influenced.
I was just thinking that just crossed my mind. I was like, obviously and when you said predator blood too, that was hilarious. So.
ReAnimator did it first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still haven't seen the substance.
Oh, really?
Kate hasn't seen it.
Oh, shit. Well, we're going to have Kate on for Kate hasn't seen it because I love the substance. I think the substance was fucking wild as fuck.
Yeah, I do need to watch it. But yeah, 8 out of 8 for me.
The good thing about the substance as well is that it does make you think of movies like ReAnimator as well, doesn't it? Like, and it's sort of maybe the substance is like the modern day version of ReAnimator, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good body horror movie for sure. If you like body horror, it's definitely up there. And I do love body horror. Love me some Fly.
Yeah. Me and Justin know all about that.
Yes, we do.
Me and Jeff Goldblum, come on.
I met Jeff Goldblum the other day.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, I forgot. I should have said, shouldn't I? I met Jeff Goldblum the other day because he obviously makes music and stuff. And my daughter... my daughter's autistic and what she does is she obviously from a young age and obviously now and stuff, she has hyperfixations on things, and one of her hyperfixations from no word of a lie, from a really young age, probably when she was like about 4 or 5 years old, was Jeff Goldblum. It was mental. Like, she's got a shrine in her room of Jeff Goldblum. She's got a full-size cutout. She's got a bit that you're not allowed to touch that's Jeff Goldblum. She's got 2 of the same figures from Jurassic Park, the original things that she brought with her own money. Anyway, she loves Jeff Goldblum. And he basically is touring with his music at the moment. And he basically went to, it's about just under an hour drive away, but he went to a record store where he did a signing for his new record, and we didn't tell my daughter that we were going to see him. I said we were going to go and see like a band that I like to get something signed.
We're going to see 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, that's it. Fuck you, Jared Leto. But you fucking perv. I don't think there's an episode that I don't go on about how much of a fucking perv Jared Leto is. But anyway, so we went and saw Jeff Goldblum, and my daughter was a fucking wreck. And he was so nice to her, and she was crying, and he gave her a hug, and he was just like, he said the most Jeff Goldblum-esque thing where he was just like, come here, sweetheart. And then he was just like, gave her a big hug. And then he was just like, let's share this true human emotion together. And yeah, so sweet. But anyway,
fucking
feel free
awesome.
to cut that out. Me talking about Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, of course not.
No.
I've heard nothing but good things about Jeff Goldblum. Like,
Yeah, it's a good fixation to have. He's a good
yeah,
guy.
you see people in like sports arenas and they'll show them on camera and they'll be like hiding their faces and Jeff Goldblum get up and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, absolute icon.
That's nice.
Justin, cover art after we went on our little Jeff Goldblum fly expedition.
Sorry.
there.
That's all good. We could do
no,
that. We could do that the rest
Yeah.
of the episode for all I care. But at any rate, I'm with you guys. Like, what I like about it is there's a lot of variations. But if I think about like the one that Kate described, which is probably the most common one, or maybe it's the original, I'm not sure. But what I love about it is I think it's both kind of simple yet also very amazing. It's neon. It's very 80s. It basically sums up the vibe of the flick in one single image. And that's when a cover art's done right, that's what it does. And it's also like BP described earlier, it's very punk rock in a way too, while still being, scientific and, the mad doctor type thing. And I just love that about. So I'm with you guys. Like, is there some covers from this era that I like better? Sure, for other reasons, but this is definitely an 8 out of 8 because it captures everything you need from a cover art for a movie, especially from this era. It does it great. And like I said, all those different variations work for me.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing horror does really well is art cover. Like it's again walking through Blockbuster, like seeing Night of the Demons or something like that. I was like, ugh, I don't want to see this. It looks scary as fuck. Angela, which I did watch the other night as well too. Night of the Demons. What's up? All right.
He needs a little punch card where he gets like a little gold star when he watches a movie.
Oh, I got one. I got a whole sticker book. It's all full. So we're going to N, which is negatives. And I'll go first. And I know BP, you love this scene. And I love it as well, too. But the cat scene, I always have a hard time seeing animals die. I mean, I know it was more of a comical way, and again, it was there was definitely some humor in the scene, but again, like I always feel bad for animals because it's not their fault. It's not your fault. Kate, what about you?
Are we just listing one at a time and going like round robin?
Yeah, that's all I have for negatives. Boom, what's up? I
Okay.
got one negative, and that was that.
I only had 2, so I'll just start with
This
one.
movie's flawless. Other than that, it's a perfect movie.
It was hard to find. Mine was more of a memory that it conjured up, my first one. So in the wonderful show The Young Ones, Vivian Bastard loses his head in a particular episode and he's running around without a head and his head's talking to him on the ground. And I had quite a few childhood nightmares from that episode. And this movie started me thinking about that thing, and I remembered back how horrified I was and how much it upset me and how much it would probably still upset me today if I watched that episode, actually. It's really funny, but it's also very, very traumatizing for me. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a scary trip down memory lane to little Cape Town. The nightmares
It's
I
always
used to
really
have.
funny, isn't it, that how for so many horror fans, it's things that aren't horror that traumatize us most.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was having this conversation the other night where obviously, like I've said this before, the fear factor, the fear element has never been I've never been scared from a single horror movie that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like I've just always been in awe of what horror is. But one of the movies that messed me up more than any other movie that I've ever seen was Saturday Night Fever, because of fucking that film is so fucking dark, and there is some nasty shit that they do to women in that movie. And I watched that thinking I was just watching some fucking fancy dancing, and the next thing you know, some nasty, sexual violence happens, and you're like, what the fuck? This is worse than anything I've ever seen horror-wise.
I've never seen that movie, I don't think.
Yeah.
Don't. It's fucked up.
Either have I.
There's another episode, maybe not. Yeah.
Kate, have you seen Return to Oz?
Oh, yeah, it scared the shit out of me when I was little.
The witch who's always like replacing her heads, and she's got all the
Yeah.
different heads that talk. That's
Isn't
that's
that
actually a
the
creepy
name?
fucking movie. There's a lot of
Yeah,
horror
I
elements in
always
that
forget
movie
her
as well
name.
too.
And the Wheelies, those fuckers. Oh my
Oh,
god.
the Wheelers, yeah.
Wheelers.
Yeah, those
that's
things are
it.
The one
fucking-
from The Craft in it, isn't it? What's that
yeah.
name? Perusa Bulk?
Perusa.
No.
Yes, yeah, Fruit
Yeah.
Bulk. Yep.
And the
Still
lunch pail
fucking- she was
tree. I always
fucking
wanted a
hot,
lunch
though.
pail tree.
Not in that.
Yeah, the lunch pail tree.
That was awesome. Yeah. And that fucking goblin guy, he was terrifying. The whole movie was they got
Yeah.
electric shock treatment. It's all happening.
Yeah, it's a very scary movie. All right, we're pivoting to Return to Oz. Justin, what do you got for negatives?
Well, I think it's nearly perfect with the exception of one element, and I know I'm going to be on an island here, and I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off. But my one negative is I've never really been that impressed with Barbara Crampton in anything. That's right. To me, this movie is perfect if you sub her out for Linnea Quigley or Kelly Maroney or any of those type of, ladies from that era. I think they just add a lot to this. Barbara Crampton's acting just doesn't work for me. Like, for example, BP and I did Chopping Mall, and I think she's fucking terrible in Chopping Mall. Kelly Maroney's fucking brilliant, and that's why I would love to put her in here instead. I just don't know. Barbara Crampton just doesn't work for me. There, I said it.
Mm-hmm. Controversial.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm almost in shock, but I completely fucking get it. Like, the thing with me is that my judgment is clouded because I look at Barbara Crampton and I'm like, she's literally one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. But she's not great when it comes to performance. So and then you mention, obviously, some absolute icons who actually, deliver the character element. Like, I mean, there's, Kelly Maroney, there's a reason why she's essentially the lead of Chopping Mall, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not Barbara Crampton. So, yeah, but you're right. I mean, having somebody else in this role maybe would have brought the levity of performance to it. So I don't disagree with you, and I don't agree with you because of how fucking fit she is.
Like, I don't want to talk shit about Linnea Quigley. I don't want to get John all pissed off. But, I thought Night of the Demons was... I enjoyed that movie, but it was extremely fucking cheesy for me. Like, a lot of the acting. Like, I thought she was so over the top. I mean, it's a fucking demon movie. So
that's kind of what she does, though, and she owns it. And that's what I love about her.
Yeah. Like, I liked her performance more even though it was still over the top, in Return of the Living Dead, opposed to, Night of the Demons. But, I mean, those are two different movies, so...
All beautiful women.
Yeah. They're no Barbara Crampton, though. BP, what do you got?
I mean, I've got a few because I thought we were all going to have a few, and then obviously not. But I've got... One of the things is, of course, the score in this movie is brilliant. But at the same time, I can't help but get annoyed of how much it is literally Psycho, and it just fucking rips Psycho off. So that is just one of those things where you're like, oh, the music literally starts and you're like, dun, 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 and it's just so fucking good and you're into it straight away. But then you're like, it's Psycho. So then you're like, I almost feel bad for liking it because you're like, you've just fucking ripped off Psycho. So it's it's a love-hate thing when it comes to the music because you're like, you've stolen some another piece of iconography from something else to make your film essentially a little bit better. But then at the same time, it's so fucking good, the music in this, that you can't be too mad at it. So you've got that. Other than that, I think that I've already said, where I think the negative for me is this movie. There are moments in it when it feels like you're going too far, but it's okay because that's what the movie is and it works for this type of movie. As I said, it's a punk rock movie. This movie is in moments made to offend, right? And that's what this movie does quite a lot. But I think that there is that moment, of course, with Barbara Crampton and the head and stuff. I just think that does go too far. For me personally, I just don't like sitting there and going, that's just not a nice thing that Crampton probably had to go through. Whether, of course, they all say she was fine doing it and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, does it need to happen? Probably not. It's just fucking wild to me, and I just don't know. I think there's the moments of horror or depictions in horror that I don't necessarily think we need to, to go from A, B, and C for what the story is. I think there's always creative ways around it. I don't necessarily think that sexual violence or whatever you want to say is necessarily always the route. That horror takes that route too fucking too much, and it's just something that I've never been a big fan of. Yeah, so that bit's just too far. And the other thing that I've got is, this isn't a negative for the movie, really. This is just actually something that real life annoys me, that I'm just a little bit annoyed that our jizz isn't the same colour as the ReAnimator serum. I wish, because it would be a lot easier to find, and also it would just make it all a lot more fun. So it's nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. I just think it's a negative in real life that we don't have a luminous glow stick jizz. Which I
love that you said it would be easier to find.
Yeah, it would be easy to find. Yeah.
We don't have that. I thought
Oh,
it's just-
sorry, dude. Yeah,
Greg's-
it's just me.
Stop the recording. Go to the doctors right now.
yeah, go to the doctors right now. They're going to start thinking you're a predator. But yeah, well, what a shame, eh? That would be pretty sick.
It would be
Glowing
cool.
in the dark's never a bad thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
It was, as I said, he's easy to find.
It would have sure changed to something about Mary.
yeah, this green hair, that's it.
Yeah.
And also, you can
It's punk rock.
It's punk rock, and also like it's easier to spot affairs, all that sort of stuff. Like, where have you been? Oh, I've been to KFC or something. No, you've been fucking someone else. What's that? Green jizz. So it works, right? And it'd just be so much more fun.
RFK told me it was completely normal, so
It makes me think of Miss Congeniality, where they're doing the drumming with the fluorescent.
We need someone to go into every movie that's ever made and just turn every jizz or anything like that into illuminous green jizz.
I'm going to stop talking because I know, I'm just
check out the new horror movie Green Jizz.
greenjizz.com.
go to the doctor immediately.
It's the Predator meets ReAnimator meets the substance. It's Green Jizz, starring Tom Hanks. All right, so we got I, which is inject yourself into the movie. Get it? Inject yourself into the movie.
Very good.
So, Kate, why don't you inject yourself into the movie? What would you do? What would you be?
God, you had to go with me. Okay. I would hang on. My eyes are watering. I can't read. Oh, okay. So I would be Dan Kane's assistant because he's pretty cute. I thought he was very handsome. And is that Bruce Abbott, the actor? Yeah. Yeah, he was kind of boring, but he was very, very handsome. And I could just be like his secretary and be away from all the action, but I still get to see his pretty face.
You still get to see him fail at keeping people alive.
Well, he's a
Shit,
good
his
doctor
doctor.
otherwise.
Yeah, he cared.
He can't
was
all
very,
be perfect.
He
Yeah,
was
well,
very
he's-
empathetic.
Yeah, I mean, he's less soap opera-y than the Herbert guy. He's like, it's like watching a soap opera that's incredibly gross. It's a positive and a negative, like the dramatic line delivery. It's pretty great, but also, yeah, he wasn't as corny as the other characters.
Justin, what about yourself?
I would play an extra that would just basically be like this Homer Simpson sinking into the hedges character where like I would mouth the words "what the fuck" and then slowly back up out of the shit show, and that's my scene.
So would you be the security guard that just fucking legs it?
Exactly.
I'm going to call the police.
I'm fucking out. I'm not calling anybody. I'm just leaving.
All right, BP, what about yourself?
I mean, I would probably just be one of like the naked dudes just flinging around their cock left, right, and center. Like that just seems like fun to me. So I'd probably be one of those. But at the same time, I'd probably be pretty happy playing Barbara Crampton's love interest in any movie that she's ever been in. So that would probably be it.
BP's going to play the head.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the green jizz. No. Greg minds think alike because I said the same thing. I would play one of the corpses at the end, one of the naked corpses, just kind of like, I would get killed and then boom, end scene. Because I don't think I could handle any lines. I would be pretty cheesier than all the others.
Just back away slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be like Justin going back like the Homer Simpson. I'd be like Barbara Crampton level, if not worse. Is acting, Like, did you just rhyme first with worst or whatever that word it was?
Endorse.
Yeah.
Endorse.
Forced endorse.
Did you rhyme first with endorse? Like, what? Yeah, I did. I'm a rapper.
He's the first person to rhyme orange with something.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. It's the toughest word to rhyme.
Blorange.
Oh my God.
Blorange. All right, so we're going on to M, which is memorable moments. We'll go back and forth with this one. I have multiple memorable moments. I'm going to kick it off. Obviously, sorry, Kate. The cat scene, it was extremely memorable. Very sad, but, There's a few scenes I will never forget from this movie, and that is one of them. So we'll piggyback to BP because I know he's. I think he feels the same way.
Well, this is where people will hate me because my favorite scene in the entire movie is the cat getting thrown against the wall. It is literally one of the funniest. I'm with you. Like, I don't like cruelty to animals. Of course I don't. And I actually have a black cat, which I've never thrown against the wall. But it's literally one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life is seeing them throw that black cat against the wall. Because obviously, like, the thing is, what I love about this movie is that there are great practical effects, but there are also practical effects that look fucking shit. And that adds to the charm. And that's what we got a lot of the 80s. You have things like The Thing, which you're like, your mind's like, explode because you're like, this is like the greatest fucking shit I've ever seen. Then you'll get things that are like ReAnimator, which is so, heavy on practical effects. And some of it looks good and some of it looks not so good. The cat being thrown against the wall is literally just a furry bag of meat thrown against the wall. And so it doesn't look real. But it's just the way that it comes out of nowhere. And it is so fucking funny that every time I watch it, I can't be drinking anything or eating because I will just die. But and it's also so unlike me because I'm so against like violence, like Evil Dead Burn, a dog's in it. Fuck it, get rid of it. But there's something about throwing a cat against the wall and watching it explode is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that when the cat's on his back, it's hilarious. And when he's like bringing it back again, he's like, watch out!
I mean, the whole scene itself, I don't even like the scene itself, like the dissecting stuff or whatever they're doing. The things they're doing to it is, once again, it's like it's doing what horror at this time does best, which is treading that line, isn't it, of between what's funny, what's not funny, what's right, what's wrong. And this film does it like the whole way throughout it. But it's just here it's the way that the camera pans and moves, and it's so quick, and it's just throwing this bag of furry meat against the wall is just one of the highlights of my life, I think, of just watching that is so fucking funny, is unbelievable. When I watched it for prep the other day, my partner was just like, what are you laughing at so much? And I'm like, just a cat being thrown up against the wall. And she's like, brilliant.
Here, let's rewind it. Yeah, I haven't seen Evil Dead Burn yet, but I did see the dog in the trailer, and I was like, ooh, I don't like the way this is probably going to go. Because I know in the 2013 Evil Dead, there was another brutal part with the dog as well, too. So, with a hammer, and I don't like that.
No.
But, motherfuckers. Justin, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to, because I know we're probably going to be kind of on the same page with a lot of the memorable scenes, so I picked a couple that maybe aren't or maybe are adjacent to memorable scenes. But first, I do want to say I'm with you guys. Like, a lot of the stuff with the cat's hard because I don't like to see an animal suffer on screen, even if it is totally like not believable. And BP's right, with the effects being kind of shit with the cat, gives it a lot of charm. I think with Jeffrey Combs just being so fucking over the top, ridiculous and funny really kind of helps with that scene as well to make it a little bit more fun and easier to digest. So I'm with you. Again, it's a love it, hate it for me too. Like, I don't like it. I wish they didn't have to do that, but I know they kind of do to tell that story and all that. And again, it works because of the shit effects and Combs just being incredible. All right, so having said that, a scene I want to talk about is like just the opening scene of Herbert West trying to reanimate Dr. Gruber. Like, it sets up the ride perfectly from the jump. Like, we know we're getting great practical effects. That fun score that BP talked about, that's just a ripoff of Psycho. It's there right away. It's lunacy. And we're in for the ride. Kevin Bacon. You guys are like, Kevin Bacon. So I got to tell a funny story really quick because I have to. So we all know about the whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, okay? So let me go there real quick. Jeffrey Combs starred in The Frighteners, like we talked about, with Michael J. Fox. Both Michael J. Fox and Kevin Bacon dated actress Tracy Pollan. My wife loves Jack Russell dogs after seeing my dog Skip. Dog dies, Kevin Bacon. There you go. Who's next?
Boom.
Oh, nice.
It is kind of wild that, like, we don't give a shit when like humans die, but like if an animal dies, it's like, you know, it'd be like this poor fucking kid. We're like, fuck this kid. But like if a cat or a dog dies, we're like, oh my God.
Well, yeah, I think it's because like animals make us a lot more happier than humans.
Well, they're just so innocent as well.
There's the helplessness, the innocence.
Yeah.
It makes it really tough.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kill any motherfucker for my dog, you know, so, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't do that for a lot of other people. So that goes to show how much, like, you know, dogs and stuff mean and pets. But seeing a cat, a meat bag thrown against the wall will never not be funny to me.
Yeah, I've got a black cat as well named Reema, so I'm glad I didn't watch it with him. He would have been most offended.
Give you a look like, what the fuck?
He'd be looking at me, no, he's a cutie.
What about you, Kate?
I did actually, I won't double up with Justin, but the opening scene with Dr. Gruber, I love that the little German nurse runs up and's like, Dr. Gruber, wie geht's? She's like basically saying, how's it going? What's up? Like, I don't think you'd be saying that in that situation with his head. But so the next scene following that where Dr. Who's doing the freaking CPR? The most terrible fake CPR I've ever seen. He's just headbanging. He's got his hands, his whole body's not moving. He's just banging his head up and down. The CPR in this is hilarious. And he does it again later in the movie. And the female doctor in that scene looks like Barb from Stranger Things. So I thought that was
yeah.
Maybe an older Barb, but yes.
Yeah, funny story. Like they took this movie off Tubi when I watched it on Tubi, and then I was like trying to find it. I found it on Amazon, and it was SPA or something like.
There's a Spanish version on.
So I'm like watching. So I'm watching the opening scene, and like it's like they're talking in Spanish. I'm like, I don't think I'm watching the right movie. I gotta find a different one. So then I found it on Amazon. It's the whole thing. But like Dr. Carl Hill with his head and his body was like hilarious. I mean, great effects as well. But when he's backing into the room and he's got like the fucking eye and the ear falls off and shit like that made me laugh so much. Like his face just looks so ridiculous. And he's just kind of like backing into the room and like that, you know, Justin's character, the cop, is just sitting there drinking coffee, like not even completely oblivious of the whole thing. Just fucking made me laugh so much. BP.
I mean, I didn't really write down anything else from memorable moments apart from a cat getting chucked against the wall. But I think it's just because I think this whole movie is just iconography 101 for horror, right? It's got absolutely everything that makes it stand out, whether it's like watching the movie or outside of the movie, like we've already mentioned, like the posters, the art. Like this is a movie that becomes popularized over time more and more and more. I see this movie within the last 4 or 5 years. I have seen this movie become more out there and more popularized within like horror community and stuff than it ever has been. And I think that purely is a testament to it being exactly, of course, what it is and unapologetically, you know, is what it is in every way. But I think there's so much. Like, this is just, like, it doesn't give up, this movie. This is just constant. Like, and the iconography is constant in this movie, whether it's, like, a moment between the characters and something is happening through the performance because the performances are so over the fucking top. And that's what makes this movie fun. Or you've got, as I said, like, either great practical effects or shit ones that add to the charm of the movie. This movie is relentless. And I think because it's relentless, there's no room for like you to sort of chill out. Like it's iconography after iconography after iconography. And there are just constant moments. Like this is one of those movies where you can take a scene out and then put it in like a making or like, you know, best of horror sort of documentary, but you wouldn't know what scene to choose because there's so many. So I think the biggest thing about like the memorable moment about this movie is the fact that it, like the entirety of this movie is just pure horror iconography in the worst or the best way. Yep. And then that's what puts it into modern day culture more than it ever has. And that's a testament because of course there's so many movies that are that no longer exist in culture, you know, and we've seen them. Anybody that's like a big fan of horror, we've seen them and we can see why they are and why they're not. There's a lot of reason as to why this movie is still so successful.
Justin?
Yeah, again, so there's like BPC that says, this thing's like going at it for the whole runtime, right? You hardly get a break. But there are some quiet scenes, and there's that one that I've always liked. You get the instructional scene in the exam room where Dr. Hill is like lecturing on brain death, and then West like continues to break his pencil in defiance. Like during this very like quiet scene, it's not as over the top as some of the stuff that's going to come, but both actors are like really going for it, and they really like give palpable tension to the scene, and then obviously to the movie, especially with what's going to come between these two characters, and I really like it for that reason.
Is that where he's doing like the post-mortem and doing like peeling that?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Kate, do you have any more memorable moments?
Yeah, I've got a few. I really liked it when Herbert said to Dr. Hill, "Who's going to believe a talking head? Get a job in a sideshow."
Yeah, I got that down as well too. That was hilarious.
It's like a soap opera. It's so funny. He's such a bitch. God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. That was probably my favorite line.
Yeah, that was a great quote. Yeah. When Megan was calling for the cat, she's like, pss, 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 instead of pss, pss, pss. Like she's doing like the completely different. You know, when you call for a cat, you're like, or you give him the pss, pss, pss. She's doing like the FSSS, like pss, 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 which is horrible acting. Who told her how to call a cat?
That's because Barbara Crampton can't act.
Yeah. Now she's like, all right, call the cat. Yeah, she heard piss, piss, piss and did fist, fist, fist. Like, get out of here, Barbara.
Kelly Maroney would have killed that.
Yeah. She would have piss, piss, piss the shit out of it.
Just piss.
BP, got any more, or is that it for you?
I just think it's just the entirety of the movie is just an entirable, memorable moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin, you got any more?
I'll just say one more, and you mentioned it earlier, but I'm with you. Like, I love the fade to black sequence at the end with Dan choosing to, bring Megan back, and the cycle continues, and you get the neon green. It's perfect. It's almost like a chef's kiss for an ending, and I would have it no other way.
Yeah, that was very cool. I couldn't stop thinking about that after I watched. I was like, wow, that was fucking awesome.
Well, what I like about that is the fact that we get this, like, when I watch these old school, 80s movies where they're movies that I see for the first time or stuff like one of the movies that I always talk about that I only saw within the last couple of years was a movie called Trick or Treat. And that is a movie, once again, very similar to like ReAnimator, but even though I only saw it like a couple years ago, that movie has literally already like jumped up on one of the, like on the list of mine in my head of like movies that I just want to watch every single day of my life. And I am so gutted that I never got to see that when I was younger. But when I'm watching that movie, even though I'm only watching it, in the last couple of years, I love it when we go back to a time where even though these movies could have been made like shit, there was everything about going into the process of making these movies is done at the highest example of like seriousness. Like there is no like, we're trying to make a shit movie, we're trying to cut corners. Every single thing in these sort of movies. So even in like movies like ReAnimator, Trick or Treat, when they're low budget movies, they're being created by people who care. And they understand the story they're creating. They understand what they're trying to put out there, what they're just trying to depict. So with that ReAnimator, the example is that ending scene where it fades to black and then you just see, the ReAnimator jizz and then Barbara Crampton like screaming. If you're not somebody that understands what filmmaking is and how you depict that art form cinematically, and visually into, for us, the viewer, well, then you don't have scenes like that. And that's why ReAnimator is so good, because you can tell Stuart Gordon knew the fucking movie he was making. And as well as that, he's clearly a talented filmmaker. So when you get that, like, it's like, the melting pot, as David Brent would say, it's like the melting pot of like where everything works together. And then you end up having, like I said, throughout the whole movie. And then even the last shot of the movie, you're like, how fucking cool is that? Yeah. If people who don't know how to make movies, like most of the people who made the reboots in 2000s and whatever, a lot of those people don't really know how to make horror movies. And that's why they're so shit. You get people who know how to make horror and get to work at a high creative level like Stuart Gordon did, then you get ReAnimator.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the director commentary, and he was basically saying the reason why it faded to black was because he couldn't show a dick on screen, and he couldn't show the jizz coming out, the green jizz. So, that's why.
So we can show Barbara Crampton fully, yeah.
Yeah, this is like, now is the time where we're showing dick. This is like, HBO is all full of it now. It's like, it's too much now. It's
We're overcorrecting, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They just say no to the green jizz.
Righteous gemstones? You mean righteous dick stones? Damn. Justin or Kate, you have any more?
I had one more.
Okay.
Just the bit where Dr. Hill's head is being held, like when he's talking, when he's first holding the head over the body, and it just looks really cool. I just had a spider on my arm. See, I don't know if you saw me jump up and freak out a little bit.
I would have shit myself.
What kind of spider was it?
It was just I think it was just a little, like a daddy long legs. It was a little one, but yeah.
I know what it's like over in Australia. I see the videos. That's why I can't.
Those are low-level spiders in Australia. It's like she's got this freaking giant ass,
just a fucking bird-eating spider on you. Get rid of it.
I nearly jumped up. I'm glad I didn't, but no, I just I got distracted for a second. But it was only a little baby. It's all good.
I did love when they dipped his head, or they put the head in the tray, and he like pours the blood in the head. And he's like,
yeah. He's so gross.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That was what made me not want to eat pasta, actually. Yeah.
And the fact that they look like intestines.
Yeah, the stringy bit.
All right, so on to A, and that is acting scale. And this is, Forrest Gump level, Godfather level acting right here. So on the famous crustometer, I see Justin shaking his head because every time I mention Forrest Gump, he's like, man, that's the best movie out there. Justin, how do you rate the acting in this movie?
I would go 6 out of 8 because much like we've all talked about and BP's leaned in on, this movie knows what it is. The actors know what they're doing. So Jeffrey Combs and David Gale, I think alone kind of the standouts and really kind of seal the deal for me. Bruce Abbott's fine. He's kind of the straight man in this movie, and he does a good job. Crampton's the one that's not great for me. And even though, again, they're kind of all in on it, it's supposed to be over the top. It's it's comedy horror. I get all that. She's just not great at doing any of that. So it is what it is. But at any rate, for the most part, overall, I would go 6 out of 8 because I think it really works for the tone and the themes of the movie.
Yeah, those are all great points, and I basically have the same thing. Greg, mine's think alike. I get 6 out of 8. Obviously, it's a pretty wacky, ridiculous horror comedy, but I think it's done on purpose. What is it? Is it David Gale who plays Dr. Hill? Is that his name?
Yeah.
He was great. I thought he was excellent. Very menacing. Good setup of him becoming the villain. And I have also, it's an 80s horror, not a Daniel Day-Lewis drama. So, Kate, what about you?
Yeah, for that reason, I was initially going to do like a much lower score for the acting, but then I thought, well, it's that melodramatic sort of shitty acting it's meant to be, and they do it really well. I agree that Barbara Crampton is the weak link. I think that she's so beautiful. And even now, like she's nearly 70 and I think she's still prettier than people half her age. But pretty isn't everything. So I think her acting is distractingly too bad as well. Like I feel like it kind of goes beyond the shticky kind of meant to be corny acting. So I'm going to go 6 as well.
666. Shit.
Yep.
Hail Satan. All right, BP, what do you got?
Well, Justin sort of made me rethink it a little bit as we're going purely on acting, but then also, as you've just mentioned that it's 666, it would be wrong for me to destroy that. So I'm going to go for 8 out of 8. But purely, honestly, I think like Justin is absolutely right. When it comes to Barbara Crampton, as I said, like I'm just like, my eyes are glazed over with her beauty. And yeah, everybody's right. I mean, you get somebody that Linnea Quigley, and everybody else that we've mentioned, you get those people that elevate the roles that they're in movies where most roles don't need elevating. Like that's the thing with horror, isn't it? Like most of the time people are there to die. They don't necessarily need elevating, but there are people. That's why obviously Bruce Campbell is Bruce Campbell, because he's fucking Bruce Campbell, you know what I mean? So, and Jeffrey Combs is another prime example of that. Like, you're not going to get another performance like out of somebody else if you're going to have Jeffrey Combs in the role. So I think the reason that I'm still going to stick with 8 out of 8 is purely, like we've mentioned, like I've said already, is that this is a movie that is exactly what it is. If you take any of the performances out of this, of course, there are ones that, yeah, you could have better, like Barbara Crampton and stuff. But if you this plays almost like a stage play, you know, like performance wise, you know, like you could literally like put this on a stage play with fucking wild shit going here, the blood, guts, everything flying around, going into the crowd and stuff. But what makes it like that is because of the performances, because they're proper hamming it up as much as they possibly can, and they've got the actors that are the right people to do that. So I think that's why I'm still going to give it like an 8 out of 8, because if you took those actors out of this movie and replaced them with other people per maybe one, you just don't get the same movie. So that's why it's so reliant on the performances in this movie being what they are. And if we didn't have them, maybe the movie would have been fucking boring. And also, once again, it becomes the iconography. Herbert West is an icon of horror, right? And Jeffrey Combs is an icon of horror because of the performances he gives. And once again, it's all about like, it's just, this movie is like, you know, Spinal Tap, turn it up to 11, you know? But that's like like, as I said, like whenever I watch movies, you know, and I say this on my show all the time, but I always like decompartmentalized. Is that a word? I don't know. But I rip apart, we'll say it is anyway. But I just rip everything apart. See, like by you know, from what it is, whether it's the sound, whether it's the score, whether it's cinematography, whether it's performance, whether it's the directing, editing, everything is all taken apart for me. And then it's a bit like a Lego thing. I've got to build it, and then I make it, knock it all over, and then put it together again. That's how I like my brain works when I'm watching a movie. Sometimes it sucks, but sometimes it means I can actually look at movies from a bigger perspective, so to speak, you know, because I'm thick as shit, so I need to. So like, so when with a movie like ReAnimator, when you take everything like apart and stuff, like everything, when you put it back together, everything like feels the same in this movie, which is what exactly it needs to be. So that's why like having the performances exactly as they are works for this movie, because if you take it apart and they weren't that and you put it together again, it's not ReAnimator. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, good.
Well,
Sorry.
when you take it apart and put it back together, it goes,
Yeah.
just like ReAnimator. So we're talking about acting. Let's talk about directing. We're going to T, and that's tossing a new director. I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with David Cronenberg. I think it would completely change the vibe of the movie. It might not be a horror comedy anymore. It would probably be like a disgusting body horror movie, and I'm for that. Again, I don't want to change this movie. We're just having some fun here, but I think David Cronenberg could have had some fun with this movie with his, because I mean, The Fly was like 86, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty close to, and the practical effects in The Fly are fucking disgusting, and that movie is gross as fuck, and I'm here for that.
I don't think there is anybody really that came to my head other than what you said was Cronenberg, because it's just like Cronenberg would have made this movie a completely different movie in regards to the tone of it. But at the same time, yeah, like The Fly, I mean, me and Justin have said, like, literally The Fly is one of the greatest movies that's ever been made.
Hell
like,
yeah.
In every aspect. Once again, it's about taking it apart, putting it all together again. There is very few movies as good as The Fly. And Cronenberg would just have fucking nailed this. But at the same time, you know, it's difficult, isn't it? Because then you're like, it just becomes such a different movie. So yes, it becomes about the iconography again, but also he's not going to have the comedy aspect, so to speak, as to what has, you know, Stuart Gordon has in this. So I completely agree. I don't think there's really many other people that come to my mind, especially modern day, because once again, modern day horror is so different. I was going to say someone like, if you're going modern day, there's a director called Corinne Hardy who directed recently, I watched it last night, called Whistle. and I watched it, and it's not as bad as what a lot of people said. But one of the cool things about that movie is that visually, it's a fucking fantastic movie, and it was made for like no money, and it looks like it was made for $2 million, and it looks like a $20-30 million movie. Like, I don't know how we did it with $2 million, and it looks great. But there are the odd moments of comedy in it. It looks visually great. So he's one of those people that I think, given the opportunity, or maybe if he gets a better screenwriter, you know, I think he could make something that's really stamps itself on horror. Maybe he might be a modern day one to go for, but yeah, Cronenberg's the one, really.
Okay, Justin.
Yeah, in an alternative universe, I would love Cronenberg doing ReAnimator, because it would be much darker, much more of a tragedy, like BP and I talked about. The Fly is one of the great tragedies ever put on film.
Absolutely.
You know, which is also one of the great body horrors ever put on film. One of the great love stories put. Like, he was he is a master at being able to balance all those type of themes. So it would be interesting, but yeah, like BP said, completely different movie. So
100%.
But I dig it. But I did think of a director who would be really fun to think of for this movie. So this guy could do a lot with a low budget. This guy would have brought in a lot of his regulars that he liked to use, a lot of non-actors in a way that would have had a lot of fun in this, and that's Frank Henenlotter. Like, this fucking movie this movie is crazy. In the hands of Henenlotter, this becomes a fucking batshit crazy mad scientist flick that I am all here for.
Yeah. He would definitely be carrying that head in a basket.
Hell yeah.
Kate, what about you?
Yeah, I had a couple. I was sort of thinking Clive Barker or Sam Raimi, and then
that would be
Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
And then I landed on George Romero, because not so much for Night of the Living Dead, but more for Creepshow. And Greg Nicotero could do the effects for him. It doesn't have to be a living director, obviously, because he is no longer with us. But yeah, I think I would like to see him. And I mean, David Fincher would obviously do an amazing job.
Just give him the jizz; he'll be back to life. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
Clive Barker would be fucking wild. That would be probably disgusting and a lot more sexy.
I mean, he's right at home with doing anything jizzy, isn't he? So Clive Barker. So it'll be green jizz and chattering bastards everywhere.
He's like, hear me out.
Accomplished.
Instead of an injector, let's use a penis. How about that?
The Sam Raimi one, though, is very inspired, and that's how we could get Bruce Campbell in here, too, because he's bringing Bruce along.
Well, plus he's great with horror comedy as well.
Oh, yeah, one of the best.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a really good shout, the Sam Raimi one. And the creativity as well.
I just started watching Nightbreed the other night.
Oh, cool. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was Clive Barker. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, it's got the guy from The Program. Joe Kane from The Program. I don't know if you've ever seen The Program. Is. It's a football movie.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I don't know what it is.
But yeah, the lead guy from Nightbreed is the quarterback in this movie called The Program.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, you know.
Sad to say for me, Nightbreed has not aged very well for me.
Yeah, I actually kind of shut it off. I didn't realize. So that's
better.
Is it Cronenberg? Isn't Cronenberg in that movie?
Yes.
Yeah, Cronenberg's the fucking killer with a mask.
Sackhead guy,
Yeah.
Which is a fucking cool mask. And I think there's a lot of things in that movie that could work, but it just doesn't. I liked it more when I was younger, and then when I watched it, I did it for like a Creeps Choice episode on my Patreon stuff, and then I watched it and I felt really bad because it was one of the early episodes where we started our run of movies that are really fucking shit, and now I've got to talk about them. So Nightbreed was like one of
that last week.
But yeah, so it's one of those movies, sadly, that hasn't aged as well for me. Much as I love Clive Barker, though.
Yeah, I remember Ryan and Seamus were talking about the mask. Like, oh, that was such a cool mask. I was like,
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it was. It was so cool. I didn't know the fuck they were talking about. I was lying.
I like all the creatures in it, though. The creatures are like, I don't know. I think it's a fun movie.
I wasn't disliking it. I was just kind of like getting a little like bored. I was tired.
It definitely didn't. I always remembered it being much better than it really is, but I still I love the makeup of especially the guy with the moon head. He always really scared me. And
Yeah.
he's not really a baddie, but anyway, yeah, he scares me.
Well, you can see Clive Barker totally putting a stamp on it. Obviously, like it's very all the creatures are very Hellraiser looking as well. So
Yeah.
just not as evil and sinister.
There's definitely much less jizz than there is in
Yes.
Hellraiser.
Yeah. And we got to change that. We need
We need
more
more
jizz.
jizz movies so much. I can't wait to make a horror movie that's just jizz, just everywhere.
Just jizz.
Just jizz.
And the main character's name is Justin Jizz.
We've got a quote
Not
called
Justin.
Just Jeans. I'm never going to look at it the same now. Just Jeans. Just Jizz.
They call me Just Jizz. Okay, so we're going on to which is
movie.
overall thoughts on the movie and rate it 1 through 8. I'll let Kate go first.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay, my overall thoughts on the movie is that it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. It's not probably not something I would rewatch regularly, but I would love to see if I had a friend who had a fairly robust constitution and wasn't terribly offended easily. Like, this is not a Sarah movie, okay? I'm not going to be showing her this. And she's kind of my litmus test for, would I show this to Sarah is often the first thing I ask. There's a few people I think I could watch this with who would enjoy it, and I'd love to see their reactions. But it's one that I would, only reserve for people I knew could handle it, because they'd probably be looking at me going, what the fuck are you making me watch, and think I'm strange. So, we can't have that. I'm going to give it a 6 as well. It's fun, and it's completely disgusting in the best way. It's it's pretty awesome.
Nice. Solid score. Justin?
Yeah, to bring it back to Henenlotter for a second, much like I described on our episode about Basket Case, this movie ReAnimator and Basket Case, when they came to me as a little kid, like, it made me realize, holy shit, this is what they can do in movies, and made me fall in love with this genre specifically. And this is one of the best and craziest comedy horrors of any decade. Lots of fun dialogue and practical effects, zany scene after zany scene. So freaking memorable. Jeffrey Combs is a legend. There's just so many things we've already talked about that make this movie work so well for me. So, there's some stuff that maybe doesn't age so well, some stuff that you have to be careful who you recommend it to, but it's still a wild ride. It's of its time, and yet still in a lot of ways timeless. It's a 7 out of 8 for me. It's not perfect. Obviously, I have some issues with Barbara Crampton and a couple of the elements in the movie, but overall, great time.
Yep. Well, I'm going to piggyback on that. Greg Mines think alike. I gave it a 7 out of 8 as well. It was a fun, hilarious 80s horror comedy, and it went a lot of places I did not expect it to go. Great characters, and of course, Jeffrey Combs, and was it David Gale?
Mm-hmm.
Both were excellent. Again, he was a great fucking villain. And Jeffrey Combs. This is like really my first experience other than Frighteners with him. So it was a pretty fun experience. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. 7 out of 8 from me. BP, what you got?
I mean, when you come to like movies, when you're doing this is why like I never have rating systems, because I find it so difficult for me to do it. Because automatically I want to go to like comparing them to other movies, and once you start doing that, you're like, I always find like then my score goes down stuff. Like, for example, like, is this The Shining? Like, for me personally, is this The Shining? No. Like, The Shining is, you know what I mean? So then I have to take a step back and look at it on its own merit as a movie for what it is. Like, ReAnimator as a movie, what would I give this? And I give it 8 out of 8. And I don't give a fuck because purely like this is like I've said throughout of this movie is an example of a lot of things, and it is an example of the time for whether it's right and wrong. It's an example of horror when it comes to iconography, but it's an example of horror for the right and wrong. You know, there is so much to love about this movie, and there's a lot to not like about it, but but the not liking about it is the things that still drive the iconography of it. Like, for example, I don't like the things that they do to Barbara Crampton in it. But without those things, does that mean that it's not out there like it is now in popular culture? Because people are like, have you fucking seen this movie? And this happens, and this happens, and this happens. And without treading those lines that horror does so well, well, then we don't have movies like ReAnimator.
Of course.
So when I keep on thinking about ReAnimator as a whole, I'm like, it looks good. There's like, it's a high level of creativity when you're coming from, you know, the standpoint of a concept, an idea and a story on its own. It's high level. It works so well. The performances are fantastic. The score is great, even though it's fucking ripped off Psycho and everything. But once again, as I said, it's like one of those movies that if you take it all apart and you put it together, it is absolutely unapologetically what it is. And I love the fact, like, you know, I love the fact that it is something that is like, fuck you. And I love that, you know, and because that's who I am anyway as a person. I'm like, fuck you, you know, like I'll do what I want. And that's as simple as it is. And that's how this movie like feels. And that's why I always say, like, when I'm talking about like not seeing this when I was a kid, you know, I love those fuck you movies, you know, and that's one of my big draws into horror, because it has always been that big fuck you, you know, and it doesn't mean it maliciously, and it's not trying to be a, you know, a fucking dick about it. It's just like, we are what we are, and very much like the people that watch it. And like Kate said as well, I find it really interesting because I think you really have to understand and know and love horror to love a movie like this. Because if this is not something like, literally my partner was just like, oh, I might watch it with you, and I was like, maybe don't, because I know that this is the type of horror movie that she wouldn't like, even though she loves horror, but this isn't for her. And this is the thing with this movie. This movie isn't going to be for everyone, but I think the people that it is for are for those that sort of have spent their life growing up with horror and unapologetically loving horror as much as this movie is unapologetically exactly what it is. So that's why for me, I just give it 8 out of 8, because you take any aspect of this away and it's not ReAnimator.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a good score. So for our final category, before we get to listener feedback, it's R, and it's rank this movie 1 through 5 for 1985 horror. Does this make your top 5? Give us your top 5 1985 horror. We'll start with Kate, because Kate is sneezing. I'm sorry. We'll start with Justin, because Kate is sneezing.
You haven't been bitten by a spider, have you?
Let's hope not.
I like to wait to watch to see if Kate's laughing, and I'm like, all right, Kate, take it away.
I'm having a massive sneezing fit. I was like, it's coming. Oh, he's going to say my name. Sorry. Continue.
So we're deciding if it's in the top 5 and then where it ranks. Is that what we're doing?
Give me your top 5 1985 horror.
So I mean, from the start, I would say Return of the Living Dead and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 are probably my top 2. Just because I've loved those 2 films for so long. Return of the Living Dead is one of my 5 favorite movies probably of all time, so that has to take it. But ReAnimator is definitely in the top 5. I would probably say I would round out my 5 with Fright Night, ReAnimator, and maybe Day of the Dead for 1985. So it's so there, and it's probably third. It's probably between that and Fright Night, maybe depending on my mood. But yes, it's definitely there. ReAnimator's a legend. I love it. It's classic.
Nice. I recently just watched the old Fright Night as well, too. So
fun.
So, what's up? What's up? What? Kate, what do you got?
Okay. So I also put Fright Night because Fright Night's awesome. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I put Teen Wolf because I'm going to say that's horror. It's really not, but I'm going to make it
if
horror.
We're putting Teen Wolf in it, okay, I'm changing mine before we get there.
I fucking love Teen Wolf.
Me too.
It's awesome.
Teen Wolf's the best.
Yeah, Justin, can we add that to the list?
Sure.
Return of the Living Dead. And I actually put Friday the 13th Part 5 because I don't think it's universally loved, but I kind of everyone's like, fuck off. Or what about Ghoulies, the little dudes in the toilet? But I don't know. I thought 5 was kind of fun. I don't think ReAnimator makes my top 5 for the year because there are a few that I do. But, actually, Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Do it.
Okay. I'm going to say it's 5B because it's going to go in with Friday the 13th Part 5. I don't know. I kind of like that one.
Well, you can put it as B anyway because Teen Wolf is the questionable option, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it can
is
fit in there with.
It's horror light. There is a werewolf in it, and I'm going to
Exactly.
say it's horror adjacent.
There's a lot of car surfing on it as well, too, or van surfing.
Basketball.
I literally live my life by that.
Yeah.
A guy, isn't there a guy like playing with his dick in the background in one of the scenes of the basketball?
Yeah, at the end of the movie, there's a guy who's got his trousers undone, playing with himself,
Jizz,
and then he
it's all full
stands up
circle.
with,
Yeah, he's like, I'll give you green jizz.
fuck you, basketball.
Oh my god.
My number one is Return of the Living Dead. Fucking love that movie. Just saw it this year. My number two, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Fucking loved it. That's actually one of my favorite ones out of all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I thought it was awesome. Number 3 is ReAnimator. Number 4 is Fright Night. And I had Cat's Eye as my number 5, which I haven't seen in a long time, but I'm taking Cat's Eye out and I'm putting Teen Wolf in.
Oh,
Boom.
okay, yeah, I approve of that. Cat's Eye is pretty
Cat's
good,
Eye is
though.
5B. Cat's Eye is my 5B.
That little goblin dude, he used to scare the shit out of me too. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little creepy movie.
My wife is terrified of Cat's Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
She's
really
seen it as a
scary.
kid and it traumatized her.
Just
I
the
think I
picture
saw
of
it as a
him
kid.
scared me, actually. Like, just on the back, it's got him, the little, and I was waiting for that guy to turn up in my room, and
Was he like?
yeah, he's horrible.
I think that's all he said. He didn't say anything. But
Can you?
What, he's just
Okay,
coming
you need
constantly.
to stop making that noise because it's freaking me out in this fucking dark room.
green jizz.
Jizzing on everyone. That's what we need. We need a jizz goblin. That's what we need. A movie about a jizz goblin going around green jizzing on everyone. And that's all he does. He doesn't do anything else.
That's what Troll 2 should have been.
Yeah. It's just a jizz goblin. And he's like, oh my God.
Talk about Cat's Eye.
Can we start the script for Jim Goblin, please?
Jizz Goblin. I will. I'll start it tonight. I'll stop making my other movie and I'll start Jizz Goblin.
Yeah, I need a background acting credit in that.
Well, you can do the voiceover.
All right. Speaking of green jizz, BP top 5.
Well, I found it quite difficult because once again, like I've already mentioned, I can't rank things like 1, 2, 5 or whatever. I just can't do it. But I did write down a shitload of movies. So like 1985, there was so many movies. It was like Demons, Day of the Dead, Silver Bullet, Ghoulies. If it was the sequel, Ghoulies 2, then it would be in it because I love it because it's got one of the greatest. I mean, literally in Ghoulies 2, you have like the replication of like the Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers like 5-5 like handshake. They do it in Ghoulies 2, but it's Ghoulies. So it's literally the greatest thing you ever. And they keep on lurgying, like spitting on kids, and it's fucking great.
And they're
so
green.
Ghoulies 2. But yeah, and it's green. Oh, fucking hell. But so sadly, Ghoulies 2 isn't in it, but Ghoulies was. And then it had loads of sequels, like everybody's already said. You had Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Friday the 13th New Beginning, Howling 2, Hills of Eyes 2. So there's loads of movies. So I ended up setting on ReAnimator is absolutely in it. The Stuff, I put The Stuff in there as well because I love The Stuff. Fright Night, of course. House, I love House and I love all 4. And I think that the House movies are incredibly underappreciated. I think like I just don't think anybody watches them anymore. And I just don't like there's so much creativity to the House movies and all of them sort of like work in their own way. And I love the House movies.
That's a great call. I forgot the first House was in 85. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, it's so good. And I just think like as a series, all of them, like they're just good movies. They're just fun movies. And then the last one, of course, has to be Return of the Living Dead. But none of them are in order. They're my 5. And then, of course, 5B, Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm so sorry for laughing. I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I was thinking about Jizz Goblin.
Oh, Jizz Goblin.
I'm just having another
Yeah, but the
giggle.
funny thing is like, you know that you make Jizz Goblin the movie and then you make Jizz Goblin the musical. So I feel sorry for anybody in that crowd.
You know
Yeah,
what's
you better
gonna
not
be
be in
really
the front row.
problematic is that tomorrow I have to be really serious. on camera a lot tomorrow, and it's not going to work out well for me. Oh my
Hopefully
God.
nobody's wearing green.
Oh, if they
I'm just going to send you
I'm
Instagram
out.
messages just saying jizz goblin every now and again. See if I catch you in the meeting.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, that was our review / acronym on ReAnimator. We did get a few listener feedback, so fire those off real quick before we get out of here. John from Dewey Pod Monster gave it a 6 out of 8. Says it's a cult classic for a reason and has rightfully been dubbed as such. Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, and David Gale are all amazing and memorable, and the soundtrack is killer. Pretty much everything you can ask for from an 80s horror movie. He's perfectly correct, other than Barbara.
Correct, yes.
We hate her.
And ripping off the score.
Yes.
Great, but he rips it off.
I've never seen Psycho before. Whew.
Oh,
But I have seen House 1 and 2.
There's no way you've not seen Psycho.
No, there's a way, BP. This guy has missed a lot of horror from this era. And the
It's
60s,
insane.
apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's insane.
I know.
I saw Nightmare on Elm Street 3, 4, 5, and 6 and never saw the
Are
first
you sure
two.
you haven't been in like a cryopod? Like your entire, like, you know, like that bit in Alien at the start used you for X amount of years. And then you wake up and I'm like, I've missed every horror movie.
I'm in Encino, man. Spud McKenzie, Instagram said 7 out of 8. It's damn near perfect. Our friend Jamie Lewis can't lose. Says it has a ton of competition, but I think it's the best horror comedy of the 80s. It gets bonus points for making Jeffrey Combs an icon. Nerd at the Movie says 8 all day. It's got major rewatchability for me, so that always gives a movie top marks. And finally, our friend Newman from Movie for Days says 8 out of 8. Fantastic practical effects and memorable performances, not to mention the sheer audacity of Gordon, having made this one of the best horror comedies of all time, not just the 80s.
I had 2 as well. I got 2.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
It's got to be a record. So Paul from Yamityville Horror gave it a 7.
Nice.
And Skellington fan, she gave it, said, love it, 7. The head scene, though, exclamation point. And I think that sums it up really well.
Yeah, I mean, again, say what you want about that scene. That's definitely the scene that people remember. You know, it's a very memorable scene, whether it's problematic or not.
Yep.
Iconography.
Yes, exactly.
For good or for worse.
So before we get out of here, give you guys some time to advertise your podcast. Obviously, Justin's got Why We Love, and he's got Pop Culture Reflections. What do you got coming up?
Yeah, I don't know when this drops, but likely the timing will probably see episodes on my show on Dirty Dancing, Boys in the Hood. We have a really cool episode on Why We Love coming up where we are going to talk about why we love the horror of 1981. So be on the lookout for that as well. I also have a new concept coming to the show called WPCR Radio. That's all I'm going to say. You'll have to stay tuned. I'm kind of going back to my roots, doing something solo. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then I also have a Miami Vice TV episode coming up as well, which I'm really looking forward to getting back into that series again. So be on the lookout for that. That's about it right now. And before BP goes, I just want to take this minute once again to say that I fucking adore BP and I adore Let's Talk Horror. He is the reason. I've said it so many times. I'm going to say it again. He is the reason why Pop Culture Reflection exists today, because I would not have gotten back into this without him. Obviously, you played a big part, as I moved forward, and all you guys as well. But BP, love you, dude. Talk about your show.
I mean, he does it every time just to try and make me cry. That's why he does it now. He knows he's going to get me because he knows I am not an emotional person. But when Justin talks to me, he fucking gets me all the time. But he knows that I love him and I appreciate him every time. But yeah, it's just wild when he says it because obviously I think that what I do is the biggest pile of shit. So to know it that it might not be, that's quite nice. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is the worst part. I hate promoting my show because it's fucking horrible. I don't know. I mean, look, it's called Let's Talk Horror Channel because I see it as a channel. Like it's all me and only me. And I'm very lucky that on the podcast, I get to have the most incredible people. I've been so lucky. The fact that I've had some of the most incredible people on the show, talk about horror. That's purely is. It's called Let's Talk Horror because I've spent my entire life trying to do what I can to have conversations about horror in a time when it was so difficult, to a time when internet happened and social media happened and everything then that comes with it. But it's just all about having conversations about horror. So, and that's what it is. It's the podcast. It's a YouTube channel. I do live streams. I do like anything that you can think of, like horror related wise, I do it, but I just try and do it in a very honest, passionate way, which is why some people like it and some people don't. But just like ReAnimator, fuck it, you know.
Yeah, definitely check out BP, Let's Talk Horror channel. Check out Justin, Pop Culture Reflections. Also, Slice of Pop Culture. We have our recasting thing. So, I think we need a couple more movies still, or are we?
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Kate, what about yourself? Guest spots, Pizza Bones, Why We Love. What you got coming up? And this is probably going to come out August 1st or August 8th or the following week. So early to mid-August.
Okay. I'm doing that thing with the woman with the numbers around her head because I'm trying to use my brain. Okay. So my episode on You Run on Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is coming out, I think, next week. I think it's next week. Maybe it's on Patreon next week. That should be soon. Yeah, our episode on Why We Love on Pop Culture Reflections on Dirty Dancing. No, it's not Why We Love. It's your main feed, isn't it?
Correct.
Sorry, yes. I got that wrong. It's not Why We Love. It's just one of the regular awesome episodes. I haven't done one for a while. That's why I forgot. We covered Dirty Dancing. We just did Reality Bites. I recently did The Exorcist with the guys from Students of Horror. What else have I done? What else have I been? I'm sorry. I'm having it's nearly 2 a.m. I might be winding down mentally, I think.
And you've been bitten by a spider.
Yeah. Pizza Bones. We have a pizza party coming up and the West Memphis 3. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I'm excited to hear the You Run episode. We ganged up on Mark a little bit over Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I should have brought Justin
wait to hear
in.
it.
Yeah, I should have brought Justin in and really just piled on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing how that turned out.
That's awesome. Yeah, so like Kay said, Pizza Bones, we got West Memphis 3. We also have Martin Bryan and Nitram coming as well too with your friend Louie. We have Pizza Party episode coming up with Justin, featuring our boy Justin. So that will be fun. Pizza Party 3.0. And for the Gonna Eat That Crust podcast, obviously this will be dropping probably early August. You'll hear it because you'll be listening to it. And we're doing a little tribute to recording artist Oliver Tree, who actually just recently passed away in a helicopter accident. Yep. And love Oliver Tree. Say what you want about him. He's got some great catchy songs. So, and he seems like a really down to earth guy. So, R.I.P.
Yeah.
But on that note, I want to say thank you all for listening. Obviously, big ups to BP. Check out Let's Talk Horror channel. Check out his Patreon. All us podcasters, we put a lot into this, so it's a lot of hard work. So we appreciate all your input and we appreciate all your support. Check out Pop Culture Reflections, Slice of Pop Culture, Why We Love. What's the new thing coming?
It's not going to really be a monthly sub series. It's going to be here and there, so you don't have to promote that. But it's a new concept. It's coming. Just
Give it to us.
Watch the feed. But it's WPCR radio.
All right, yeah. So stay tuned for that. Whatever Justin brings, it's great. Check out Kate's guest appearances on You Run Podcast and all the podcasts she guests on, and of course Pizza Bones. And we rep the You Run Podcast Network. Check out all our shows. Check out all the other awesome shows on there. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Pod, YouTube. If you want to check out our Patreon for just as low as $1, you can get shows just like this one. Right meow. And and we're gonna take it out on an In Crust We Trust. In 3, 2, 1. In crust, we trust.
Ooh.
Should have had the Psycho theme in there.
Do the goblin noise. Do the goblin noise. Quick.
Yes, do it.
Jizz Goblin coming soon.
And that's right. And Green Jizz coming to theaters 2027. See ya.
A nigga some mystery ass comfort stuff crust. Stuff crust, yeah, comfort stuff crust. So what you choose, gonna bust, yeah, comfort stuff crust. stuff. Love so much cheese, spit up blood, can't help the stuff.